This week on the Marching Drill Down, WGI releases the 2022 schedule, and Brooks Anderson gives us our weekly historical drill movement. All that and more now on the Marching Drill Down. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm your host, Christine Ream. I'm the consignment manager for Guard Closet, a company that sells everything imaginable for color guards. It has been over 2 years since WGI groups have competed in person, and that is about to change. WGI announced its 2022 regional events for color guard, percussion, and winds. In 2021, WGI hosted a virtual competition series, which challenged groups to be creative in different ways. Currently, dates and locations are subject to change, but this gives members of the community great news. Let's send it over to Chris Green, Southeast Brand Manager for Guard Closet, with some exciting news about the Central Florida Sounds of Freedom.
My name is Chris Green. I am the Artistic Director for the Central Florida Sounds of Freedom Band and Color Guard. 2021 is our 10th anniversary, and we are having a concert at the Plaza Live this Sunday at 3 p.m. called On the Shoulders of Giants, so kicking off Pride Month. We have in-person tickets. They're available for $15 at cfsof.com. We also have live streaming tickets where you can watch from anywhere in the country, also at cfsof.com. Sunday, June 13th, 3 p.m.
Let's send it over to Serena Gill on a recap of the recent Color Guard Roundtable about recruitment.
Hey guys, it's Serena with another Roundtable recap. This week I'm going over the Color Guard Roundtable for tips on recruiting, which you can find on the Style Plus Band YouTube channel. Let's jump in. The Roundtable passed it off to some experts in the field, where Miss Lisa Cullen emphasized being a familiar face to those you wish to recruit.
I'm always around at shows. I stop by if they're in the stands. I pop over and I say hello so that they know who I am.
She also mentioned visiting the middle school program and being visible to those members. This sentiment was brought up a lot during the roundtable. For example, Mr. Alan Mason suggested staying involved in the music department by attending the school concerts, as your presence can spark interest in those already familiar with a band setting. Mr. Tim Hinton piggybacked on this idea, saying that being seen by the community is recruiting.
Listen, you are always recruiting. Like every single thing. I mean, going out in the community and running into someone at the grocery store, you're recruiting for your band.
Yes.
And every concert you give, every time your band is ever seen, but really every time you as the director are ever seen by the community, it's part of your recruiting.
Recruiting efforts don't need to be complex if you can understand when and where you can be to develop interest in your band. You can check out this roundtable and more at the Style Plus Band YouTube channel. Have a great weekend, everyone. Back to you.
Thank you, Serena. You can check out more of the Color Guard Roundtable and many more at Style Plus's YouTube channel at Style Plus Band. It's time for our historical drill move of the week. Brooks Anderson has more.
Welcome back as we take a look at another historic drill move, this time Santa Clara Vanguard 2000, Age of Reverence, written by the late Myron Rosander. While this move may not have a name or be as famous as some of the others, it's one that is very special to me. I saw this at my first live DCI show in 2000. Changed my life. Let's look at how it was made. While this is actually a fairly easy move to write, it's a great example of using subsets to bridge two sets that normally wouldn't go from A to B. You put one in the middle to make sure people aren't running into each other, basically. The first move is technically a 16 count move. Now that works for the color guard and the horn line, but if we were to do that with the drum line and they did that rotation, that triangle would smush into itself and cause all kinds of collisions. So what I've done is halfway through that transition, I've added a subset. That way, I can make sure that that triangle is big enough halfway through that they're not smashing into each other. And I believe that this is one 16 count move that goes from that star shape into the block. However, if you were to go from one to the other, it would just be a mess. Everyone would just run into each other. As you can see, that isn't going to work. So what you do is you split it. So in 8 counts, we're halfway there. And you can set where halfway is this way to make sure no one's running into each other. For the next 8, you just create the shape and no one runs into each other. Let's take a look. And then the next 8. Then after that, all we do is assign some visuals to the holds, throw in some guard work, and we can perfectly visualize exactly how it's going to look on the field. While this move is easy to write, it is definitely not easy to march. It's one of the most amazing and impactful moments I've ever seen. It was the first move that made me involuntarily cheer whenever I saw it in person. It was one of the big moments in my life where I was like, I have to do this. I have to learn how to be a drill writer. And here I am. I hope you enjoyed that and maybe learned a little bit. If you have any suggestions for other drill moves you'd like to see, just leave them down in the comments. Until next time.
Thank you, Brooks. For our final story, let's send it to Paige Durr to recap the first ever Girls March camp.
Hello, my name is Paige Durr, and I'm here to give you a little bit of a recap from Girls March. So, last week at Capel High School, Girls March was hosted from June 1st to 5th. And what is Girls March? Well, it's an all-female marching percussion camp. And so it's open to age range of middle school through high schoolers. And we came together and we were able to put 2 full batteries and a joint front ensemble together. So we had a middle school battery, a high school battery, and then a joint front ensemble. And the goal of the week was not only to learn music and a show, but we also wanted to talk about leadership through music, kind of the struggles as females in the percussion section, and also the positives, and be able to make connections not only with those students, but between the staff members and the staff to the students as well. So it was great. We came and, the first day was all about exploring. Each girl got to try each instrument, and then they got to make their decision about what they wanted to play for the rest of the week. And then we spent a lot of time on technique, how to approach the drum, performance aspects, and then we learned 2 arrangements. So one was the middle schoolers worked on Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake, and then we also did an arrangement of Neo New York by Patricia Islas. So it was amazing. This was the first time ever that I got to see an all-female percussion section and got to work with them. Not only that, but also an all-female staff with members including Rachel Taylor, Elia Yamoni, Sandy Rennick, Lauren Teal, Patricia Islas. Was just a stacked staff. And we got to come together, and this was a lot of the girls' first time being able to play in person since COVID. So it was a wonderful experience, and I hope that you guys can join us next year for Girls March.
Thank you, Paige. And that is it for today's broadcast. I've been your host, Christine Ream. Be sure to check out this episode and more at Style Plus TV. We'll be back next week with more exciting news. Until then, have a great weekend.